Sorry guys, my video accidentally cut off. But what we were saying was to write it in word form. You would say 34 and there's a comma, so you have to name it. So I would say 34,000. And then you just say the rest of it. 802. 800. 100. Sorry. 2. Okay? I'll go back and give you the answers for these later, but I want to keep going. I'm going to let y'all think about this one. Just make sure that you look at the place values that are here and what number he's supposed to be representing, okay? All right, let's come down here with rounding. So you have the tens, the hundreds, the thousands, and the 10,000s, and you're rounding these numbers over here. So let's start with 23,704. When I'm looking at this number, and I might actually write the actual number in here. I think it might make it a little bit easier. This is the ones place and the tens place. So I'm going to circle the 0. That 0 is what's either staying a 0 or it can possibly become a 1. I'm going to look next door. 5 or more, you let it soar. 4 or less, let it rest. So this 4 tells me to leave the 0 alone. So this one would be 23,700. Okay, let's take this number down here on the bottom and round it to the nearest hundred. So I have 20,381, and I'm going to round that to the nearest hundreds place. So this 3 is in my hundreds place. I'm going to look next door. 5 or more, let it soar. 4 or less, let it rest. So the 8 is definitely 5 or more, which tells me I have to make this number soar or go up. So 20,004, and then everything after it would become a 0. All right, let's round up here to the thousands place. We have 4,937. So I'm rounding to the thousands place, and that's this 4, so we're going to circle that. Look next door. 5 or more, let it soar. 4 or less, let it rest. So 9 is more than 4, so it's 5 or more. Means I'm going to make this 4 go up, and everything after it becomes a 0. All right, let's do one more. Let's do this one. We've got 829,317, and we're rounding to the nearest 10,000s. So that would be this 2 right here. I'll look next door. 5 or more, let it soar. 4 or less, let it rest. So this number is 5 or more, which means I make this one soar, or I make it go up. So the 2 becomes a 3, and then I count 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And there you go. All right, let's flip it over on the back. Oops. Sorry, it was a new paper. All right, place value. I'm just going to pick a couple of these to do. We've talked a lot about place value and the specific places, so I'm actually going to skip down here and do the place value chart first. So the place value chart would be ones, tens, hundreds, and you always put a comma after every third number. Thousands, 10,000s, 100,000s, and then your millions. And don't forget that comma. 1, 2, 3, comma, 1, 2, 3, comma. Okay? So now let's pick a few of these to do. Let's look at number 1. It says 400 is blank times more than 40. You could look at the place value chart, and if I put these numbers in my place value chart, they would look like this. And what we talked about in class is every time you went over a column, that value got 10 times more. But the shortcut way is just look at your zeros. 400 has one more zero than 40, so that means that 400 is 10 times more than 40. It has one zero. Okay, let's look at this one because it's a little bit different. 2,000 is blank times more than 20. So let's do the shortcut first. I marked out my 2 and my 0 because there's a 2 and a 0. There's 2 zeros here. So that means that 2,000 is 100 times more than 20. But if you were to put these numbers on a place value chart, you would see that you skip 2 columns, which is why it's 100 with 2 zeros. Okay? Let's look right here. Number 5. What is the digit in the tens place in this number? So this number is 482. Well, that's the ones and the tens. So there's an 8 in the tens place. Now, don't get this question confused with questions like number 7, because number 5 asks you what digit is in a specific place. Number 7 asks you what is the value of the digit. So what is the value of the digit in the hundreds place? All right, well, let's look at our number. Ones, tens, hundreds. So there's a 6 in the hundreds place, but the value of that 6 would be 600. So if it asks for the digit, it just wants to know the actual number, the digit that's there. If it asks for the value, you want to actually think about what that number is worth in the place value. Okay, let's come down here and look at a couple of these comparing. So if you had, let's look at this one because it might be a little harder for you. You have 5,000 plus 200, so this is expanded form. I would definitely rewrite this and put it in standard form. So that would be 5,200. Now this one is a little out of order. So this is where I like to use my blanks to represent my place value. The biggest place value is thousands, so I would go ones, tens, hundreds, thousands. And then you can fill in your information. So I have 200, so that would be a 2 in the hundreds place. You have 30, which would be a 3 in the tens place. And then you have 5,000, which would be a 5 in the thousands place. You cannot, no matter how bad you want to, you can't just leave this 0 off and say that this number is 523, because this number is 5,230, which makes it bigger than 5,200. Okay. Okay, let's look at one of these that we have to order least to greatest. When we looked at numbers in class, we would line them up with their ones place value. Okay, but then you start comparing them over here on the biggest place value. So this one would be the thousands place. So if we're going least to greatest, I know that this number and this number are the biggest. So I'm only going to look at 491 and 542. 4 is less than 5, so 491 must be first. 542 must be next. Okay, well now we're looking right here. We have a tie between our 4s. So let's go to the next one. We have a 4 and a 4. So the hundreds are also tied. When we look at the tens, we have a 4 and a 5. 4 tens is less than 5 tens. So 4,444 would be next. And then this one must be last. Okay? I know I didn't do all the questions, but we're going over this in class, and if you're at home and you need a little bit of help, then I will be glad to help you. Just let me know if you need a little bit more help. So I hope that helped you.